Dr. Lisa, thank you so much for being on Mom Life Unfiltered, Mompreneur Edition. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We go back. We go way back.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it makes me happy to have you be on. I want you to tell everyone about how you got into being an acupuncturist and when you started your practice, so on and so forth.
Okay. So I was actually one of those people who wanted to have a life like Dr. Seaver on Growing Pains or Dr. Huxtable, where I wanted to have the home life and the family life in addition to the practice. So I was pre-med at first. Along the way, realized that all of the wellness tips my grandmother gave me were more like rub oatmeal on your face, put lime on your elbows, eat broccoli, all of the like holistic stuff. So long story short, I ended up going the holistic route, went to chiropractic school first, and then discovered a love for acupuncture because I was having major issues with asthma and allergies.
Oh, wow.
On my campus at the time, they had just brought in a TCM, traditional Chinese medicine program. And my friends were like, well, you should go get acupuncture and see if it'll help. I was like, okay, whatever. It was like really cheap for us students. I was like, okay, let me go. After a session, I was like, what magic is this? And I was hooked. So then I started my practice, went to school, started my practice in 2006. And here we are, 2025.
Wow. Wow. And so being a mom, being an entrepreneur, which being an entrepreneur is also like the business is your baby as well.
Mm-hmm.
How do you navigate through that? How do you turn one self off, turn on the other self, or do you?
Yeah, it's really challenging. I think I got a lot better after I had my daughter at separating work from home. And so I felt like at work I was Dr. Lisa and at home I was Lisa. And that, I don't care what name it would be, but having two different names helped me be two different people. And I think I needed that, especially because working with patients, as you know, like I'm so entrenched in their lives. And I know I was talking to my husband yesterday about it. He was just asking me, we were just having a discussion, and I was sharing with him that I'm so honored and blessed to be able to connect with people the way I do. And it is I foster such an intimate space for patients to feel comfortable sharing, because I feel like we have to go through layers to sometimes uncover what those stressors may be that's triggering the body. So all that to say, it can be a lot to take that with you, right? Especially when you got to go care for a 2-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, whatever. My daughter's now 14, but having the name distinction really helped me to separate the two.
That is interesting because, I mean, psychologically, you having the doctor in front of your name allowed you to compartmentalize and allowed you to kind of disassociate, like unplug from that role and plug into mommy, wife, friend. You know what I mean? That role. For those roles, I should say. That's very interesting. I haven't heard that one before. And I like that. And maybe more moms should think of utilizing that in some sort of way. For you, it's easy because you are a doctor, you know? And so it's simple to kind of go back and forth. When do you feel most creative?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I got questions for you.
That's a great
Get
question.
ready.
Yes. I think I lost a lot of my creativity for many years. I feel like momming was an act of my creativity coming from my sacral chakra. Um,
Mm,
that same, I created a person, and now I'm trying to like continue to nurture this act of creation. And I'm just somebody who really, I really love mothering my daughter. It is a passion of mine, and it is a part of my purpose, and it is my number one job. So now
wow.
that's good and bad, that's good and bad because it's 24/7. Um, so I feel like unfortunately and fortunately lost some of the things that I like to do for me that allow me to
Mm,
be more creative over the years. And I'm now that she's 14, I'm starting to pull those back into my
mhm.
life. But dancing is huge for me. Any form of dance. I danced for many years in all schools up through college. Um, I love painting. I love coloring. I love
Wow.
gardening. My husband's an artist, so we love going to galleries. We love going to art shows. We love discussing art. So those are things that I like for me, and cooking. And not
And
cooking
do
because I
you,
have to, cooking because I want to.
right. So like being experimental in the kitchen,
Hmm.
having fun with a certain recipe or something new. Do you
Hmm.
act on these creative urges when you have them, or do you just kind of notice them and then you're like, I can't right now?
Now I do. Now that
No,
she
you
doesn't
do.
want to be
Okay.
bothered with me.
She's a teenager. She's a
Yeah, I'm like,
teenager.
okay, this is my cue. Like it's time now. Like let me start to let my little bird,
Mm,
she's got to learn how to fly more. So it's time for me to pour back into me. So now I do act on them as much as I can. There's many more things I want to do. I think at some point I would love to do a retreat somewhere internationally,
mm,
um, and pull in everything I love with chakras. And I don't know if you ever did one of my chakra workshops years ago where it was definitely pre-pandemic and my daughter was like 4, but
mm.
I had groups of people come to my mom's house and we would do this like 6-hour long workshop. And
Oh,
we would go through some gardening, we would go through some dancing, we would go through some journal writing, we would do all of these different like
mhm.
activations. And people loved it. It was fun. I just kind of got tapped out. But
Of
something
course.
like that internationally, mix in some astrology, like
Yes.
that I think
Sign
is
me
what
up. That
we do.
sounds amazing. That
Yeah.
sounds amazing. Yeah. Do you feel like you allow imperfection to live without boundaries in your life?
I do. I do.
Mm.
I'm not a perfectionist. I know people that are, and it
Mhm.
looks stressful. And I feel like if I wait for perfection, I will never do anything. Like,
Mm.
my business is not perfect. My website's not perfect. My Instagram's not perfect. I'm not a perfect mom, not a perfect wife. I'm totally cool with being imperfect.
You're like, that's okay.
It's okay. Cause I mean, like, the fun is in doing stuff, and I like to have fun. Like, I
Mhm.
would just be sitting around way too long. I'd be missing out on years.
Mm. That's something that I think a lot of moms, especially, they grapple with is perfection,
Mhm.
especially if they're posting and sharing on social media and their friends, their family is watching and they're getting scrutinized or judged, or also the comparison trap. They're
Mhm.
comparing themselves to other moms and they're seeing that these other moms appear perfect online. It kind of creates this false representation of motherhood that's not really authentic.
Mhm.
And it almost looks like a magazine spread sometimes on people's
Mhm.
pages. And
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, some moms already have the school year and the crafts planned out well in advance. And you see all these different things posted and you're like, wow, I mean, is this real? Like, are they really doing this? Or is this just a part of the content calendar and they force themselves to put this out, but really they're not even living like this?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So, yeah, no, I've always been somebody that's really real with my friends about motherhood, where I'm like, it is not for everybody. Don't feel like you need to do it. It is hard as hell. Like I just don't like, I'm just so straight up with them. So I feel like when I see a grid like that, I'm like, well, that's beautiful for you. That is not my reality. So I automatically don't even relate. Like, that's not probably somebody I would connect with. So I just kind of like, keep on
it moving.
going. Yeah.
Keep it going. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with liminality? Like liminal spaces when you're a mom and you talked about your daughter going to high school and her needing you less and less. But as a mother that this transition is about to happen. So you're kind of in this liminal space of like, I know she's going to need me less. She's approaching that age where she's not going to be hanging around me as much.
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal with that, being in that liminal space of knowing and feeling the transition?
I've been thinking about this recently because this is her 4th day of high school. She started last week, part of the week. And I'm like, oh, it's not bad. Like, it's okay here. And what I remember is being pregnant. And I remember feeling like, oh my God, pregnancy is going to end. I loved being pregnant. I'm going to miss it so much. I'm never going to have her this close. And then she came out and I was like, oh, this is so much more fun. And then she got to be 3 and it was like, oh, this is even better. And so as I've anticipated some sort of absence or missing of her going to the next transition, the next stage in that transition, I've learned over time that nature is always going to tell you when you're ready. And because I am in tune with the body and I listen to my body, I listen to the cues from nature, and her little hormones tell me like, Mom, I'm good. Like, I need some space right now. Like she's almost like, where are your friends? Like, you need to get up out of my business. Like, that's just nature. She's 14. So it's like, if you listen to that, then it gives some validation for it being okay. So I'm doing that, and I'm like, oh, okay, good. Okay. I mean, it's still challenging. Like, I'm navigating. She has older friends now she's 14. She's on a varsity team, so she's got seniors as friends. It's like all the things in the mind.
Right.
But I feel like I've also prepared her. We talk about things. So what can I do? I got to go to sleep at night.
Right. And talk about listening to the body more. Like because I think that a lot of us, mother or not, just living in this society, we can be so detached and removed from our bodies, even though we are in our bodies. And so sometimes the cues or something that is a cue, we won't even register it as a cue to like go, oh, okay, I can relax in this space, or I should. So talk about that more on how you listen to your body in these spaces of transition with your child.
Yes, that's a big question. And I think because there's so many distractions right now, and there are so many tools to take you out of who you are, to take you away from really knowing your inner truth, i.e., social songs, TV, constant binge watching of things. And in the past, I've, with patients who I feel are so busy, the one thing I want them to do is like take a minute and really feel your body. Like, what do your feet feel like? What do your calves feel like? Tap into your thighs, your glutes, like go through each body part and take a minute and decide, okay, does it feel tight? Does it feel balanced? Does it feel like it moves fluidly? Do your joints move fluidly? So I think anchoring into your body is a first step into getting in touch with being able to then listen and be receptive to other impulses that come naturally. So
Right.
I think it starts with grounding. I know a lot of people love caffeine, but also sometimes I'm like, what is the natural energetic state of your body without an aid?
Ooh.
And a lot of people do not know. So think about,
Girl, that question. Because
without aid.
I don't think people think about that, even when it comes to sugar,
Oh yeah.
right? So, like, what is the natural state of your body without this dopamine hit? Because
Yes.
isn't it like sending dopamine? Is that what
Yes.
it does?
Yes.
And you
Just
have
like
this
scrolling.
surge go through your body, you got this sugar fix. And
Yes.
it's like, what is the natural state, right? Without the aid of the dopamine hit or without the aid of the energy from the caffeine.
Because I think if we become a society that is always dependent on a substance or some material, then I see us trying to hyper control every other aspect of our life. And we're like, okay, I can augment my energy. I need to be ready for something at 6. Somebody will get an energy drink. I want to feel better. Let me eat this cookie. Like, we're controlling our emotions and our energy. And then what do? We hyper focus and control sometimes our kids' lives. And sometimes we're
Mm.
just like too in the mix. Some of us that are mompreneurs have more and less time. We have more time in a way because we can manipulate our schedule and be a little bit more present where we need to. We have
Right.
less time because we're 24/7. We're needing to always do something at work, with our professions. But so I think, long story short, it's like backing away from being so hyper controlling over everything in order to tune in and feel the natural impulses. Our kids always tell us what they need. It might not be how we want to hear it, but it might be in an attitude, it might be in a cry, it might be in a slam door, but they're communicating. And
Yeah.
we just have to be able to like put down our own insecurities and listen.
Wow. You said a lot there. You said a lot there. It's real though. I mean, so as a mompreneur, how do you, and I'm just going to assume this and you can correct me if I'm wrong. When you are running a business, you're in more of a yang energy. Right? And so how can you be more in yin and how do you stay in softness?
That's a little bit of a tricky question for me because my business is yin and yang because I say young, but I'm very young when I'm
Mhm.
like, if I'm trying to grow and develop and produce,
Mhm.
do it admin, do billing, those types of things. But when I'm with my patients, I am definitely yin
Okay.
because I need to be in a space to receive. So I naturally have to go back and forth. And with that, that's why I have particular days where I am yin and I see patients and I don't do the yang stuff on those days. I have other days where I do the yang stuff.
And so when you are then Lisa, you're yin.
Well,
Does that, or does it still?
There's Dr. Lisa that's yin and yang, and then there's
Right.
Lisa. There's Lisa who is probably more yin. I'm definitely probably much more, I don't know. I'm like a super nurturer mom type person, but my husband's gone a lot for travel. So I end up playing a lot of, roles. But I'm still pretty yin most of the time. I'm not, which is maybe not ideal for massive business growth, because I'm not in my yang energy all that
Right.
much. I find that I probably resist it because I grew up with a corporate mom who prioritized work, who I didn't see till I was like 22 because she was gone all the time. And I just said, I don't want to be like that.
Okay.
And so I think that hinders me in a way, because I know what it takes to be like, more recognized internationally, nationally, whatever. And I just don't think I want to do that.
But that's good. I mean, to be able to know where your ceiling is. Like you put the ceiling. It's not because someone else has put a ceiling on you. You've placed the ceiling. And that's fine. I mean, because not every entrepreneur needs to be this corporation or scale at the highest levels. It's not necessary. You know what I mean? But what I think, and I'm going to ask this question for myself and also probably for the women who are in this. I like yang. I like saying yang. So we're going to say yang. Yang is no longer happening.
Okay.
For the women who are in a space of more yang energy, what does softness look like?
Yes. Softness looks like a pause. It looks it, and I think it's very individualistic. And I that's one thing that I do in my practice is I do want people to find what works for them. And softness to me, and being more in my yin, is, maybe taking a bath, prioritizing that downtime, going on a long walk at the beach, doing a dance class, because it just makes me feel free. Those are my versions. But I find that I have a lot of patients who are in their yang all the time, and even laying on my acupuncture table is like torture. Like
Really?
being still and having to like close their eyes and not do something. That is so hard. And I tell them, can you just not touch your phone for like 15 minutes? And I have some people that just have the hardest time. They're like, and I come back and they're like, has it been an hour and a half? I'm like, no, it's been about 15 minutes.
Gosh, wow.
Yeah. So I think it's whatever the down gear shift is that you can conceive of, is what the softness is. A moment where you can have space. Like, where do you have space? I think that's where the softness is.
And I think a lot of moms especially may not feel like they have space.
True.
No, I think that's a big, just me talking to different moms on this podcast, and now we're in season 2. Having the space has been a huge one. Like, they're like, space? What are you talking about? Because between being a mom or working, or some are entrepreneurs, being a wife, a friend, a daughter, a sister, whatever, it's like, where is my space after I've worn all of those hats? And I've, been in all of those roles. then this is the other question. Then it's like, who are you without all of the roles?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the question. I think that's where the softness starts to develop. Like who are you? And I've been there, and I know, I mean, I've looked back like, wow, like I forgot this is me. Like sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I'll be somewhere, like maybe I'll be on a trip with a girlfriend, or like my school's homecoming, and I'm like, I forgot this is who I
Mm-hmm.
used to be. But I have lived the life where sometimes it's years where you don't have that time. Now, I will say space for a lot of moms and women that I know is when you get home and you're in the car and you take that extra 5 minutes before you walk into the house, when just sitting in the car for
Yeah.
like, and my husband sometimes will be home, he'll be like, why are you in the car? And I'm like, because I need to be. Because when I come in the house, I have a whole nother job, and it starts the moment I walk in. I got to finish out the day until like 9 or 10 o'clock, and I just need to sit here and I don't know if he fully gets it. He looks so concerned. He just leave
He's
me
so
alone.
tired. Why are you in the car? I think that's some great advice. What you just said about the car moment,
Mm-hmm.
that can be for moms listening and you don't have space, have that car moment before you go in
Mm-hmm.
the house. I
Yeah,
think that's important, what you just said, because that, if you're not able to find the space and you're like, how is it even possible? Just that little moment in the car can be a start to
that's
having
everything.
space and having just a little moment to decompress.
That's
So,
everything.
do you invite in play?
I do, but not as much as I would like. And it's more now than what it has been. So there have been
Mm-hmm.
many years where, like, my own play and not play that's based on kids.
Right. Your
um,
own play.
but my
Mm-hmm.
own, not nearly as much as what I won't say I would like. As I can see myself in another like 4 years, once my daughter is more independent and living her life, I feel like my life will be like mostly play, because I love what I do anyway. So I consider a little bit of that play, but in a much more open way, but not enough.
What's play?
Play is, I love travel, so it's travel, and I
Mm-hmm.
do travel. I have I have blessed experiences. Um,
Mm-hmm.
More travel though. I feel like there's so many places in the world to
Mm-hmm.
explore and see. So more of that. I love getting together with girlfriends and having them over, and brunch, lunch, breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
hikes, going out and doing things. So more girlfriend time, game nights with the crew. Um, I love going to football games.
Nice.
Now I used to not, but now I love it because I really love the external noise, and I love
Right.
my piece in that.
Oh,
I'm really loving that right now. I
you're
love
like,
also amusement parks. I
mm.
love amusement parks. That's play. I love dance. I love roller skating. I like rollerblading.
Oh, that's amazing.
I love galleries. I love art shows. I love just
Mm.
I'm a tourist, so like I love like pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about play every now and then because I forget about it, honestly.
Mm,
As an adult,
mhm,
I forget about play. When we're children, we are constantly playing. Our whole
mhm,
life is about play when you're a
mhm,
child.
mhm,
And then somewhere in between, you just stop playing, like
mhm,
completely stop. It's a gradual shift of decrease the
mhm,
play, but
mhm,
then it just stops
mhm,
for a lot of people.
mhm,
And I've thought about, wow, okay, how am I incorporating play into my life? Being someone that has a business, I travel a lot as well. but play, like, when am I silly? When am I getting into a character? When am I'm thinking about how I was as a child, you know, and how active am I in play? And I'm like, I'm not playing that much. I'm just not. I laugh a lot. I'm silly. But I don't think I'm actively playing. Like that I'm aware of, like I'm actively in a space of play.
And is that for you? Like, because I mean, I feel like if you just get around some kids, that definitely activates
For
play.
sure. For
That'll
sure.
do it. But your version of play, you know, now I want to turn this into a session. I'm like, well, why not?
Right.
Why are you not playing?
Why am I not playing? I mean, I think what I'm doing is I'm being silly and goofy, and I have a huge sense of humor, but I don't see that as play. I think it can fall under play, but I wouldn't call it play fully. I guess I'm also trying to figure out, what does play mean for me as an adult? Because I knew what it was as a child, but I'm not quite sure what it is now. Some may look at my life and say I'm playing all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm playing. I think there's a different level to it that's a bit more intentional for me personally. What do you think shifted in you when you became a mother?
Oh gosh, so many things. I remember when I had her when she was little. I remember looking outside my window, like, how does everybody do this? Like, why did I not know that motherhood was like this? I remember looking at my neighborhood, like, it looks the same, but it's not the same. Like, I have given birth to a human. It is not the same world out there that it was last week when I was pregnant. It shifted my whole entire perception of the world. Everything was different. More specifically, how it changed me. I think I was probably a lot more free in some ways, like a lot more whimsical. You know, like I would skydive and I would do all these things. And now I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing that. I've got a child. I gotta be functional and, you know, like I don't want anything. Like I skydived after I watched somebody's parachute not open and was like, we're good.
What?
No.
We got to talk about that offline.
I was like, what are the chances it's not going to happen again today?
Right.
So that was me with like everything.
Okay.
I was not tripping at all on like much of anything. I never have taken myself too seriously. I'm just like, let's go. I've always been ready to have fun and go do things. So I think I became more serious, more responsible about my activities, and a little bit more depleted when it would come to work, because it would be hard to care for a child and then give the same energy to my work. I just did not have it to give in the same way.
And what do you think changed for you the moment you became an entrepreneur?
Because that was before I had my daughter. So that was a very freeing experience, because I went to a school that was so traditionally pre-med and very traditional in the South. And everybody like got on the track and then, you know, went to do all the programs in med school. And when I took this other route, it felt like you can do things different. Like you don't have to stick to the script.
Right.
So it was also like I couldn't identify in the same way with them anymore, because I think they couldn't identify with me either. But I also felt like, oh, from here on out, I can choose everything.
Mm.
Like I can
So it
choose.
was liberated. You felt liberated.
Yes. I didn't know it then, but when I look back, I do feel like that was the beginning of me recognizing entrepreneurship is a liberating act.
It really is, because you have to remind yourself each time that you have the choice.
You have the choice.
It's up to you on how big you want to grow something. It's up to you on how you want to present. It's up to you. You don't have to run things by people unless you have a team and you want to, but you have a choice on how you want to grow something and nurture it, and just also your relationship with success.
Mm-hmm.
You get to really shape that and mold that to what it needs to be for you. I think some people have challenges doing that when they're in the corporate world, because success is measured on so many specific things. When you climb the corporate ladder, that's success, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think as an entrepreneur, you have a bit more freedom to say, okay, this is what success is for me. And success can be very simple. It doesn't have to be connected to money or having a certain amount of influence or power.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so have you had that? Did you have that moment in business where you were like, what is success for me?
Oh yeah. I think I've only recently I think you have to as an entrepreneur, you're always
Mhm.
having you literally have to define your success in a plan. What does
Right.
it look like when all of these things line up and work? And then
Mhm.
are you satisfied with that first proof of concept? Or
Right.
will you feel successful when you have scaled it or when you have grown, whatever? So that would be one thing that definitely changed with motherhood is my definition of success.
Mm.
And I probably only recently have felt very, very successful. Although it may not look traditionally successful, like in terms of how many patients I'm seeing a day and all of
Mhm.
these things, but it's what I want.
Right.
Feels right for me. I take a lot of time with people. So I have lower numbers than like 40 a day. I'm not Kaiser,
Mhm.
cause that's not, but monetarily, if I saw that many, the monetary success would be much
Right.
greater.
Right.
But I think between the partnership I have with my husband and where we
Mhm.
both are in our lives with raising our daughter, like my success is great. I have the freedom to do what I want, and that's success to me.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people would love that. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And
Mhm.
to be able to think about success in that way.
Mhm.
I think a lot of people don't have the space, or they don't give themselves the permission
Mhm.
to define what success is for them and to create a different relationship with success.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, um, do you feel like when life gives you signs to change course or to dive into the unknown or to take a big risk,
Mhm.
how quickly do you respond?
Ooh, how quickly do I respond?
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I don't know how to measure that, but
Mhm.
I do respond. I think I
Okay.
do respond. I like in terms of success, what we were just talking about, I'm now in a astrological university, a university,
Oh.
studying the curriculum of astrology and to become a master astrologer. I've always been into astrology my whole life. I've, used it with friends for many years and helping them navigate things. So I think a level of success is being able to go back and learn something new and different. And so I think that's a part of what you ask, like when you get an impulse, do you act on it? And it probably took a year and a half for me to decide. I think it came up and I was like, and then I think I contemplated some other things. And then I thought, well, what is truest to me? What is a true reflection of who I am and how I show up in this body, in this world, in this life? And whenever I tell people, they're like, of course you're doing that. Like, you've always been that person. And so that feels very validating for me. Not that I needed it, because I have felt it in myself. So in terms of quickness, I don't know. Like, I'm like, I feel like my life is a reflection of making those types of choices, but I can't say that I linger too long, but that I can't say that it's instant.
Right. Because you know how some people continue to get the ping. Like life sends you a ping here, ping there. And you're like, okay, I know something needs to change, but I'm going to continue to ignore it. Or I'm not even going to register that this is a sign that I should change course in some way.
Yeah.
You have people that, it takes them a decade.
Yeah.
To go, okay, all right, I'm done with all the signs. I'm just going to do it.
Yes.
Because I've been getting signs for the last 10 years. And if I don't take this sign at a certain point, life is going to be like, well, I'm going to force you.
Yes.
And you're not going to like how I force you.
Exactly. And what you're saying, right. What you're saying mimics how the body talks to you. Like, it's signs. Right. It's take action, or I'm going to sit you down if you don't want to sit down. So I think I don't let it ping me too long, but I definitely respect and honor the fact that it is so hard to change course. And it takes so much confidence and inner knowing and support. And that it can take some people a decade, because it's not an easy thing to do.
It takes a while. And I think it depends on your nature, right? Or also your astrology, all the things that go into you. Because for me, I'm constantly in a state of change all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but sometimes it can be like, wait, where is my footing? Because the moment I feel an impulse to shift, I will shift quick.
Where do you think that comes from?
Well, I'm into numerology and astrology. And so I'm a 5 in numerology. I think the 555, and it's all about change. Change. And with me being a Pisces water sign, water is constantly moving. I don't need to say anything else.
No.
So it's like, yeah, I'm constantly in a state of not being satisfied. Some may say, Malliha, are you ever satisfied? And I do receive satisfaction as a human. I'm satisfied, but I always want more. How can I give more, be of service? How can I create more impact? How can I change more, heal more? What qualities or traits do you feel like you want to embody more in your life?
That's a great question. And I know exactly what it is. It is really not given I don't know if I can cuss on here.
You can curse.
I'm not giving a fuck about what people think. That's a part of entrepreneurship, is you can't hold back. Like, you can't be so concerned about people that it paralyzes you and how it's going to be received, because that's their problem. Like, that's a narrative that they have. You're going to have, for every person, a different opinion on how you present. And that is something that has been an issue for me in the past that I am constantly working on. And I think it comes from being a Black woman who is not kind of into the traditional cultural sort of like ways of being. Like, I'm not, super Christian. I've always been like, people always think I'm different or weird or unique or something, like I don't fit into the box.
Right.
And when you're younger and like that, and you get that feedback, you don't want to be different. You want to be seen as, I fit in with everybody else. Why am I being pegged as an outcast or an outsider because I like New Kids on the Block?
Right. Right.
And, or whatever it is, it could be a million different things. So I think I have some childhood issues that I need to resolve in my adulthood, with not being so concerned about being called whatever or being different. And that's just me, and that's who I am. So that's something that I am constantly working on, especially as you put yourself on social media and you open yourself up to as many people as you can get, to appreciate what your contribution is.
Absolutely. What do you think your daughter has learned from you as she's watched you build your practice? If you had to guess, if she hasn't told you.
If I had to guess, sometimes what she learned about me from my practice, I would like for her to learn that it doesn't matter what people think. It matters if you feel good about what you're doing. And I say that with my practice because, I'm like the crunchy mom or the almond mom. And so she'll be like, can we please not get my birthday cake from Whole Foods? Can we please get it from XYZ? Or like, can we please not get the healthy version of the chips? Can we please not get the lemonade? Can we get the Powerade? So, and she's like concerned about what that looks like to her peers. And I'm just like, I'm not changing who I am for your little friends. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, this is a value. Like, this is a value that we hold. And if you have money to buy the things, you can decide what you want to buy, but I'm buying it. So I think it's like an extension of my practice is just the holistic wellness piece. And so I'm hoping, and I'm teaching her that, like, what you put into your body is where your vitality comes from. And don't feel like you need to play that down for other people. Like, nourish your body, nourish your mind, nourish your spirit. So it's an extension of my work.
I love that.
Thank you.
And what would you tell this is the last question. What would you tell your younger self if she needed advice about taking big risks?
I would tell her, like I'm telling myself now, don't get too wrapped up in what other people think about you. They don't know you. It doesn't matter. I would tell her to be be so bold with it and be so confident that there's no need to even like make a big deal out of anything, because you exude positivity and confidence, and it's like, yeah, that's just Lisa, whatever,
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for being on the show and being authentic and sharing your time and your stories. we appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been a great reflection time. And I'm going to actually, I can't wait for it to come out so I can go back and listen and hear myself and take my advice.
Yes.
About myself so I can really hear it differently.
I love it.